Hi everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Fun with Father and Son. I'm Father Matt, and this is Son.
Guy.
On Smackdown this week, Sheamus returned with a devastating brogue kick. The Miz seems to have let the Fiend in, while Daniel Bryan feels the full force of the Fiend, and King Corbin becomes an inmate at the Uso Penitentiary. This is the Out of the Blue Smackdown review. Smackdown 3rd of the 1st 2020. First of all, at this present time as we're recording this, Wrestle Kingdom 14 is happening in the Tokyo Dome. I've been thinking about it, and I think we'll cover a few little bits of that event. Obviously, Wrestle Kingdom 14 is a big massive Japan wrestling event over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, 4th and 5th of January. There's matches with John Moxley, and there's a match with Chris Jericho, obviously of AEW. So I'm going to look through it, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to pick points out of it, and I think we'll cover them in a video tomorrow, because of it being in Tokyo, it's in the morning, so we can do a little video tomorrow. So look out for a video on Wrestle Kingdom 14 tomorrow. But yes, Smackdown. We didn't do a video on Smackdown last week. I didn't really watch it, to be honest, but I sort of caught up this week with this episode. Started off with basically we're getting Bryan versus The Fiend again at Royal Rumble, because Bryan won a triple threat match last week. They had a little bit at the beginning with The Miz and Daniel Bryan, where he basically said, I should really have that match, but being as you are, I want you to defeat The Fiend, and that was kind of how they sort of began the show. Then we had Sasha Banks with Bayley come out. She did a bit of a promo about Lacey Evans and her daughter. That then brought out Evans and Dana Brooks, and then that brought out Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, who then they had a triple threat tag team match. There was the ending of this match. There was a blind tag from Dana Brooks on Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans did the woman's right, I think, to Sasha Banks, and then there was a senton from Dana Brooks, and they got the win. So looking strong. It's obviously next week. It's going to be Lacey Evans versus Sasha Banks. There's going to be a match, obviously Bayley versus Evans, probably at the Royal Rumble. We'll have to wait and see that. Then there was another sort of tag from last week with Otis and Mandy Rose. They're sort of continuing this little storyline hint that they're going to get into like some relationship or whatever. He sort of brought him his mother's fruitcake, which got stomped on by Dolph Ziggler last week. And there was a little bit of this sort of backwards and forwards between Otis and Mandy Rose about that, and he was like saying, "Well, go and ask Ziggler what he thinks," and all this and the other. Basically acting a bit jealous, I think, of Ziggler. Then we had The Miz with The New Day. The New Day, or Kofi Kingston, was saying about how Miz had such a good decade, where he was like about his accomplishments in the decade, and that he was tied with championships with Kofi Kingston, because The Miz and Kofi have got the most championships in the last 10 years, which is quite interesting, to be honest. And then at the end, The Miz slapped the pancakes that Kofi was holding all over the floor, and then Kofi said, "Challenge accepted." So they had a match later on. Then we got another sequence with Elias in the ring, where he did a song where he basically made the fun of the heels, Sami Zayn. Shane McMahon was hinted at in that. The Revival, Ziggler and Corbin, they were all talked about in this song. The Shane McMahon point is very interesting. We haven't seen Shane for a while, have we, Kai? Since he got fired, I think, from by Owens. So we haven't seen him. So he might return soon. He may be turning soon. Maybe that's the first comment I've heard of Shane McMahon being mentioned for a long while. So we don't know. Maybe that's going to happen. Then we had Gable versus Dash Wilder, because there were some comments made in the backstage sort of video by the Revival to Gable. Then they had a match. They had Dawson on commentary. The end was that Gable got the ankle lock, didn't he? An ankle lock submission win, and then the Revival attacked, did a shatter machine to Gable, only for then somebody to return. Who was it? Sheamus. He came down to the ring. The Revival sort of legged it out of the ring, only for then what? What happened?
Sheamus did a brogue kick to Gable.
Yep. So he's still acting heel. Like, to be honest, the Sheamus character is better as a heel.
Sheamus,
yeah. Again, he hasn't got the mohawk. He's got full hair now as well. So he's kind of like still a heel. I think he plays better as a heel. The fans were quite funny because they weren't really booing him. They were just saying "Welcome back," which I thought was a really interesting point as well. Then we had Kofi versus The Miz. Simple match. Kofi won the match, only for then The Miz to attack Kofi, sort of saying that, basically hinting that The Fiend had sort of changed him, and that he's now a heel, which is, again, Miz is better as a heel. He wasn't face for very long. I didn't expect him to be, but we'll see how he goes as a heel. He, like I say, was better. Then we had Otis come out with Heavy Machinery teammate Tucker. While they were having their intro, they went to a backstage bit where they were at the Miz's door. There was a knock by the sort of interviewer on the door, only for then John Morrison to appear. Yes, John Morrison's return to the WWE. We knew this. It's his first showing on a main show. Maybe he's going to SmackDown. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Didn't really say much. Just said that the Miz didn't want to say anything. Then we had Otis versus Gulak. Again, Gulak basically saying that why should Mandy Rhodes be going for someone like Otis? They had a backstage video, or sort of they cut the backstage where Ziggler was Mandy Rhodes and Sonya Deville, where Mandy Rhodes saying you should really be apologising to Otis for what you've done. Nothing really came of that. They just sort of showed that, and then Otis got the win. Then we had Strowman versus Cesaro with Shinsuke and Sami Zayn. I put Zayn interferes again. That is all he seems to do. We know he's not cleared to wrestle, but he's sort of the manager. That's all he kind of does. Strowman did actually get the win, only for then Shinsuke Nakamura to do the King Shasa to Strowman and sort of basically take him out, and that was kind of that.
I think it's going to be Strowman versus Shinsuke Nakamura at the Royal Rumble for the Intercontinental.
It could be, yes, and we could be getting a new Intercontinental champion there, because Strowman hasn't really had any championships really lately, has he? So we'll have to see. He had the tag teams, yeah, the tag teams, with the, what was his name? That little boy. He
Nicholas.
That's it, Nicholas, out of the audience, and he won the tag team titles with him.
That was WrestleMania in 2018.
Yeah, last couple of years ago now. And then we got to the main event: Roman Reigns, Bryan versus Ziggler and Corbin. I put that they isolated Roman for most of the match, only for then Daniel Bryan to get into the match, get a bit of momentum, only for the lights to go out, the Fiend to appear, and then he attacked Bryan. Bryan tried to fight him off.
He appeared at the outside.
Yep, at the outside, in front of the announcer's desk.
And he did like a suicide dive.
Yep, that's it. He tried to fight off the Fiend, only for then the Fiend to be too powerful. Threw him through that little barrier near the timekeeper's bit, and then a mandible claw, only for then some people to come out to see if Bryan was alright. Roman Reigns was one of these, trying to see if Bryan was okay, only for then Corbin and Ziggler to attack from behind. It looked like they were going to get the upper hand by handcuffing him, get the dog food. It looked like they were about to pour the dog food on him, only for who to come out?
The Usos.
The Usos, yes, the Usos have come back for the save. Interesting they come back now. It was only recently that I think it was Jimmy, I'm thinking it was Jimmy, has just been appeared in court for a DUI, drunk under the influence of driving, and he got found not guilty. So it's really interesting that now he's back straight after that verdict as well.
I think one Uso got a key to do the handcuffs.
Yeah, he did it under the handcuffs, yep. So yeah, they come back now after all that sort of controversy with the Usos is over now. He found not guilty of doing that, being drunk under the influence. So they're now allowed to return, and obviously they're now faces, and they're helping Roman Reigns. So that was SmackDown. Yes, I thought it was interesting SmackDown. Some returns there for the new year, and hopefully they're starting off strong with the new year. Like I say, Wrestle Kingdom 14. We'll show a few thoughts on some of the matches that we see. Won't be all the matches because, like I say, there's probably about 20 or 30 matches for the 2 days. So to show the reactions for everything, it's going to be a little bit much. So that will only be a little video, and that'll come tomorrow. So yeah, next week we'll have a look, see what happens on Raw. We might do a Raw some review. We'll have to see what happens. I'll see, and I'll make up my mind. But back to like normal scheduling now. So with the new year, Royal Rumble 3 weeks away as well. So we've got to do predictions for that when it gets a bit closer as that. So yeah, I'll say if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Really, we have been on 30 subscribers for a little while now. I'd like to get the numbers up, get the views up. I've got some things coming to the channel, some new intros and stuff, make it look a little bit more neater coming in the future. So yeah, I think we'll leave it there, won't we, Kai? So I'll say goodbye, and say goodbye, Kai.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.